Mr. Spock, I ordered this computer and its interlinking systems repaired.
I have investigated it, Captain. To correct the fault, we'll require an overhaul of the entire computer system. A minimum of 3 weeks at a star base.
There is hope.
Yes, there is hope for your business in a 21st century internet world. It's the Edge of the Web with Aaron Sparks.
No, we never actually fall into any type of copyright infringement whatsoever.
Oh, they have the internet on computers now.
Hey, I think actually, as long as Homer's been going, I think that's public domain now, right? You're back with Edge of the Web Radio, provided by Site Strategics. You're with Aaron Sparks and John Thompson, and we're talking about search engine optimization and how to get ranked with your website. We're talking to small and medium-sized businesses and giving you some tools, some concepts that you can bring back to your web developer or your IT consultant, even the agency that you may be working with at the time to get a better grasp of opportunities that you may be missing. In the realm of search. I mean, search is the new Yellow Pages. You can't not ignore it. And on top of that, social media is a major factor inside a business. There's a consumer engagement now that's happening that you just can't ignore. So you have to be in those areas, and you can do it by yourself, but that's a learning curve that you may not want to actually absorb because there's a heck of a lot of bumps along the road to find out how best to manage your social media, how best to manage your pay-per-click ads, how best to manage your organic rankings. And, a lot of times it's a lot easier to actually go with a consulting agency. You may actually, if you've been listening to the show for a while, and I mean, honestly, this is why we built the show, is to help educate and get some basic ideas and understanding of what search engine optimization is.
Right.
And they can be easily understood and implemented, even if you're the greenest webmaster, right?
Greenest webmaster. Huh?
I'm saying, if they're wet behind the ears, you know what? They can still do some of these basic techniques, right? And on top of that, there's a lot of content management systems that are in there that already are naturally more attractive to search engines.
And it's just going to get easier and easier over time.
For those factors.
Yep.
So guess what? All of a sudden, all that's now becoming the baseline, where it wasn't before. Now some basic basic SEO concepts are kind of already the starting point where everybody's going. So it's just raising the bar to another degree. If you're too swamped, or maybe the basic changes you've done to your site weren't sufficient to overcome your company's competitor or your competitor's lead on you, it may be time to actually look at hiring a SEO agency. Okay, so what we want to do is give you some 5 things to know whenever you're hiring an agency, right? And these are good points, regardless of who's telling you this. Obviously, we're in the business for performing SEO for our clients, but we want you to be armed with some key concepts to vet out some people you may be looking at. One of the main points is experience.
Yeah.
Given how quickly search engines change, it's important to find a consultant who has experience in navigating frequent updates. Now, we talked about updates earlier this show about how Google's changing on a regular basis and paying attention to those, right? Now, don't equal experience in the number of years that they have, equal experience to the number of years that they have been in business, right? Because there may be some SEO agencies that have been in business for 8 or 9 years, okay? That doesn't mean they have accurate experience or topical experience of what's going on. They may be using some outdated best practices that aren't currently that viable. Mm-hmm. So the same thing we're talking about, that baseline has been raised across the board of new sites that are being built. They already have a lot of the stuff that used to be perfect SEO. Now they're all coming up to the line.
At the same time, I wouldn't want somebody that just studied an SEO stuff for about past year and had a few websites they made, and that's it. I definitely would like to know that they had some experience in the field for years.
Yeah, absolutely. And a second point is paying attention to results, and that paying attention to the results that consultants actually promise to deliver. Okay, steer away from those who actually promise to get your site ranked on the first page of Google within a specific time frame. I can't say that strongly enough. It's not possible to predict the amount of time needed to get your site placed.
This is the truth.
It's not possible. Ask them how they measure success. Is it in terms of site traffic? Okay. Is it in terms of conversion level? Is it in terms of a set of backlinks that you build? Right. Whatever it is, have the conversation about success. And a lot of times we enter in that conversation very quickly about expectations. The last thing we want to do when we leave that initial meeting or the kickoff meeting is there's an expectation that's not stated, because that will kill a relationship, you know?
Yep. Different owners have different what is not ROI, but what they want as a result. Do they want the phone to ring more? Do they want the forms to be filled out more? Do they want this product to be purchased more? Do they want more visits? I mean, all are different things.
A lot of times, I mean, just to table that conversation, a lot of times there's a trophy word that the CEO wants to have the company perform on, but that trophy word may be a fat term, a very generic term that would equal no positive return of value to the company. And those type of things need to be shored up and understood that, okay, maybe these set of qualified terms are a heck of a lot more important for business.
And that's what we do a lot of.
Yeah, absolutely. Industry presence, number 3. Do candidates you're looking at regularly publish posts about SEO topics, industry news websites, have radio shows, white papers? Slip that one in there. Are they present at well-known industry conferences? Don't rule out up-and-coming agencies, all right? But at the same time, are they contributors? Are they actually talking and to a knowledgeable degree about the industry?
Yeah, this is one of the few industries. Well, I'm speaking. I think this is one of the few industries that you could be in the game for 10 years and you find yourself upside down because you haven't been up to date. You're not agile. I mean, we know enterprise companies that have actually had to change their business model because Google's changed their algorithm and it's really taken a toll on things.
That's right. So, I mean, to a degree, having an understanding of how these agencies actually perform and what particular route they perform in to actually get your search engine optimization results. You know, are they diverse? Are they hitting on a lot of different cylinders? Are they doing on-site good content marketing, social media, link building, a number of different effects? Because from principle, if you focus on one area, that one area may actually be diminished in a particular capacity by Google.
Yep.
You know, so anyway. Number 4, customer reviews. Seek customer references, at least 3 to 5. Just like you're interviewing any employee, review their references. Get in touch with the consultant's customers to find out whether their projects were successful and whether they would work with that consultant again. And the same thing as if you're interviewing an employee, but even more important because the success of that agency is right in the hands of who they've done work for in the past.
And this, to me, is one of the biggest things, even for any company, because when I use my Google Voice to search for something, I get a list of all the businesses, but I also get these 5 stars, and if they're filled in, that's going to determine whether or not I click on you versus a 3-star.
That's right.
Couple reviews.
That's right. Lastly, let's look at the cost. When you're speaking with an SEO agency about your project, be upfront about your budget. You know, a good agency will give you some ideas what it can do at your budget level, right? Your efforts will absolutely pay off in terms of your campaign success if you just follow those 5 important rules. Pay attention. Don't take an SEO agency's word for it that they can get you at the top of the page. There's more to it than that, but you need to know that they're actually seasoned and that they've got their bearing and they're realistic in the approach. Right?
Yep.
You listen to News Talk 1430 WXNT. Edge of the Web Radio will be right back with some more information about keyword research for your company's business website. Stay tuned.